Hi friends, welcome back to Bootstrap. Yesterday we learned grid system in Bootstrap, and in grid system we explored the possible ways to make use of available 12 grids, and we also explored the different codes for different device sizes, and we applied some values and saw how it reacts in the browser. And what we didn't explore is gutter width, custom gutters, nestable, and column ordering. I would recommend you to not focusing on these things now. Once you get complete understanding of column and different grid values, then you can focus on exploring what is gutter width and other stuff. To know is some basic idea about gutter width. It is nothing other than the space that occupies between the outer edge of your div, the outer edge of your column and the content. Okay, the outer edge of your column and content, that space is called as gutter width. If you couldn't visualize, or if you couldn't understand, no problem, it is not mandatory now. So you can explore little later. And nestable is also not that important now. When you develop a basic layout, you won't need nestable containers. And then column ordering also not mandatory now. If you know flex box very well and you know the order concept in flex, then you can explore column ordering. But I would personally recommend to focus on applying different column values and achieving a basic layout first, and then coming back to gutter width and other stuff. Okay, now we will explore columns. We will be needed to make some alignments in our columns. So we will explore the possible ways to align our column using Bootstrap. To do that, I would go to the Bootstrap's website. Let us open two things at the same time. One is um, version 4.6 and then version 5. In version 5, you will see topic called column. Inside that, you will see a lot of options to align your column. And if we go to Bootstrap 4, here you have to step into layout and come down and click on grid, and it will have alignment in the bottom. So in Bootstrap 4, the documentation is bit confusing. They will have more content inside a single section. So they have grid system as title. Inside that, they would have explained all column options, and then they would have explained grid system, sorry, gutter width. They would have explained gutter width, gutters inside grid itself, and then they would have explained alignment also inside grid. But in Bootstrap 4, they have simplified the documentation. Grid is all about the columns. That's it. Grid is all about the column values, and then they have separated the alignments, column alignments, into a different topic, so that it will be easy for us to navigate. Okay, so layout columns is same as layout, grid, and alignment. Okay, in Bootstrap 4 you have to click on layout. In Bootstrap 5 you have to click on layout, and you have to choose columns to get the documentation of alignments for each column. But in Bootstrap 4.6 you have to go to layout. Inside that, you have to choose grid, and then you have to scroll a bit. See, you have to scroll a bit and reach alignment. And the major difference between Bootstrap 4 and 5 is making use of right side navigation. In Bootstrap 4 you will see lot of content in right side, lot of links in right side, because the number of links in left will be very less. Left is main link and right is sublinks. Left is main link, right is sublinks, which means left will have the major link of the documentation, and inside that major link there will be a lot of sublinks, subtopics. Those will be listed here, but in real time it is very less number of people making use of this right side column. In real time very less people only making use of this right side column. So what they have done is they have splitted the main navigation even further, so that the documentation readability will be better. Okay, so whatever I have explained till now is all about the difference in documentation between Bootstrap 5 and Bootstrap 4. But what they have given in document will be same. Okay, what technically what they have explained in the documentation will be same. How they have represented only differs between Bootstrap 5 and Bootstrap 4. Okay. So the first thing that we need to learn in alignment is vertical alignment. What is vertical alignment? Let us explore that first. Let us open our page. Here we have three divs, right? There are three columns. Here we have three columns. Let me open in my browser and let me set some height for this row. Let me set some height for this row. So I will apply height 500 pixel, and let me apply some background so that I will know how much area it occupies. Even better, we can apply border. Okay. So the red border is the space occupied by the row, and let us apply some default values for the columns as well. So each has column 12. So I will write styles for column 12, but in real time you should not write any styles for Bootstrap classes unless you need to reset the real values. Unless you need to reset the real values, you should not apply any styles for Bootstrap classes. Column 12 is a class of Bootstrap, so you should not apply some styles. So let me follow the same method. Instead of using it, I will add one new class and I will write my styles for that class name. Okay. So section for section, I will write some class. Okay. So I have applied yellow color border for this section. So the space that occupied by the columns are represented using the border. Okay. Now what we see is, even though the height is just this much, even though the height of each column content is just this much means even though the content height is very less, the column occupies the entire height. This is the concept of flex box. But in real time, you would expect a different alignment for each column. In real time, you would expect a different alignment for each column, and how we can achieve it by using vertical alignment concept. So to do that, when you want all your alignment to start from top, what you have to apply is align item start. Let me copy this class name from here, align item start, and you have to apply this class to row. Row means flex container. Okay, row means flex container. So let me apply this to here. Now you can see all column occupies the contents space, and it starts from top of your flex container. Or how I say it is the flex container, if you check, they would have applied display flex for row class. So when you apply row class, when you apply row for a div, then that will act as flex container. And if you want to start from the top of the flex container, if you want to start the flex items to start from the top of the flex container, then you will apply align items start. Likewise, you will see different values, align item center, align item end. Based on that, you will get different outputs. If you want to vertically center align, if you want to vertically center align all columns, then you will apply align items center for the flex container. Okay, so you can simply follow this layout, follow this documentation and explore the possible values. And if suppose you want to change the alignment of a particular column, if you go in this method, if you apply these values to the flex container, then that will disturb all columns. If you apply this value to the flex container, if you apply either align items start or align items center or align items end, it will disturb all columns. But when your scenario, when your requirement is to adjust only one column, what do you have to do? You have to apply align self center. Here you have applied align items, align items, it's a plural, which means it will apply to all flex items. But if you want to target one particular flex item, then you will go with this class name, align self center or align self start, and you will apply this for the flex item, not flex container. Here this div class row is the flex container and this is flex item, so you will apply this class name to the flex item which you want to reposition, which you want to reposition. So let me try by applying here. So this alone starts from top of the flex container and the rest follows what we have applied for the flex box. Okay, this is what called as vertical alignment. So to align vertically, you will follow these methods. See one thing, I haven't written even a single line of style. I haven't written even a single line of style in my style sheet to achieve the layout. I am simply making use of Bootstrap's classes. Okay, this is how your code should be. Initially, you will feel difficult because you won't know what are all the class names available. So your intention or your practice will be like you will write your own styles, but you should not do that. You have to study Bootstrap documentation and find a way to do that using the available class names in Bootstrap. The next one is horizontal alignment. Horizontal alignment, or we can say like alignment in main axis. So a vertical alignment means alignment in cross axis. If you remember the flux classes which we saw initially, then you can uh, remember what is the difference between cross axis and main axis. If you don't, no problem, go back and watch that video. Horizontal alignment, what it will do, it will take care of aligning the columns in main axis. So here you can give different values, like justify content start means it will start from the left side. Center means it will position in the center of the div. Likewise you can give different values. Applying the same to the row, now it won't make any difference because there is no empty space. There is no empty space to understand the spacing. So what I will do is I will reduce the column value so that I will get some space. We need to have some space, then only we can align. If there is no space between left or right or center of the column, then we cannot understand the spacing. So this around, let me keep it as 1. So the first one will be very small, one is very less space. So now I will have some space in my left side. And let me remove self alignment, self vertical alignment. So all will be in same direction vertically. In vertically it is center aligned. In horizontally, in main axis or horizontal direction, it is left aligned. If I want to right align it, then I have to follow this one. This is right aligned, so I have to give justify content end. We'll start from the right side. Likewise, you can apply different values based on your need, but in real time, most of your project will be aligned from left or center. Most of the times you will need this one or this one, but it is always good to know all available values, all possible ways to align your column in main axis. Next one that we need to know is column wrapping. No gutters, it is not mandatory to know. If you want, then just explore the documentation, you will understand it, but I don't want to explain this now because we haven't studied gutters. Column wrapping. Column wrapping, what is column wrapping? Column wrapping is used when you need to bring one column to next line. Consider a scenario where you have three columns. Consider a scenario where you have three columns and you want third column to come to next line. You want this third column to come to next line even though you have enough space. This scenario will happen in many places. You need to bring your column to next line even though you have enough space. How can we do that? For that you have to use column break. Simple, you just need to add this div. You just need to add one div and apply w-100. So if I want to bring the third box to next line, I have to add that div before my third column. Let me edit it. Now it will come to the next line, but it is aligned right because I have applied justify content end. Okay, by default it will be aligned from left edge, and even though we have enough space to place this column, it has come to the next line. The reason is I have given this one. Okay, and sometimes in mobile view or in small screen view you will want this to come to the next line, but in a medium device or in a large device you will expect this to come in the same line. How can we achieve that? For that you need to learn some utilities that also we haven't learned, so I will keep that on hold. You have to apply some class names like this. If you want to learn yourself, then you can explore the documentation, but I would suggest you not to focus on this for now. So we have practiced column breaks, but I think I mixed column wrapping and column break. Let me explain again. Column break concept we will use when we want to bring one column to next line even though there is enough space. Let me explain again. We will use column break concept when we want to bring one column to second line, the next line, even though the previous line has enough space to have this column. In this case, it occupies 3 and it occupies 3. So totally 6 columns we have used. So 6 more grids are available, and to place this box we need only 3 columns. To place this box we need only 3 grids, and we have 6 grids available, so we can easily place this box here, but the requirement is to keep the box in next line, so they use column breaks. And column wrapping means when there is no available space, then automatically that will come to the next line. This one we already uh, explained, we already learned yesterday. When there is no available space in right side, it will automatically come to the next one. In this case, this column occupies 9 grids and the next one is 4, so 9 plus 4 13, but we have only 12, so this column will need 4 columns, 4 grids, but we have only 3 grids left, so it will come to the next line. This is called column wrapping. Automatically it will come to the next line. Column break means forcefully we are bringing one column to next line even though there is enough space. Okay, reordering. Reordering is a concept to reposition the visibility area of one column, or we can say like reordering means even though one column is placed in a particular position, we display it in different position. Okay, here we have to get an output like first in DOM as first child and second in DOM as second child and third in DOM as third child, but they have shown third in DOM as second child. This scenario will happen in many of the projects. After completing the web page, the client will say, bring this box to front. Okay, your client will say, bring this box to front, but you won't have access to the HTML page, or you won't be able to change the HTML structure. You won't be able to change the HTML structure, but your client will ask to reorder the columns. At that time you can make use of order hyphen a number, order hyphen a number. You can use this pattern so that it will realign or it will reposition the columns. Let us try. Now I am going to change the values, then only I can see the output. First one 1 2 3, second one 5 4 5 6, third one 7 8 9, and I apply order hyphen, and there is no change because order hyphen 2 is the maximum value, and I write order hyphen 1, order hyphen 4. So when nothing is written, which means when nothing is written like order, when there is no class name called order hyphen something for a column, then that will get the maximum priority. We have three columns. In these three columns, first column don't have any order classes. The first column doesn't have any order values, so that will be placed as first one. It will take the maximum priority. Then the next one I have given as order 4, and third one I have given as order 2. So 2 is the smaller value than 4, so 2 will be placed first, 2 will be placed first, and then 4 will be placed. If in case I change or I give some more values like order 5, then this will go to this will be shown as the last column, even though we don't make any change in HTML. In I mean, even though we don't change the position of this div, even though we don't change the position of this div, we are showing in the browser in different area by using order concept. Okay, it is same, it is same for both HTML, in same for Bootstrap 4 and Bootstrap 5. Ordering, and what else you need? Offsetting columns. It is one of the important topics that you need to know. Offsetting means sometimes you will need some empty space on left side. Okay, in some scenarios you will need some empty space in the left side of your column. At that time you have to use offset classes. What is that? Let us learn with an example. Let me remove all the orders and let me put all in single line. So all are in single line. Now the first column occupies 2 grid, and the second one occupies 4 grid, and the third one occupies 4 grid, and the second one starts exactly where the first one ends. But in case I want some space between these two, I want some particular space between these two, how can I achieve that? Or if I need a space of one column, if I need a space of one grid, how can I achieve that? The easiest way is edit it, and do like this, so that it will occupy some space and it won't have any content. This div don't, and I will apply border none. So I have written one empty div. Empty div means a div which doesn't have any content but it occupies one grid. This is one easiest way to achieve, but the problem is we are adding one div which will not be used for any purpose. Instead of writing like this, you can simply delete it and add this class name. So in all devices, it will have one space gap. Okay, so when you need some space, so one means one column. If you want two column space, give like this. And if you want to target from one particular device, from medium device, I want a space, means you will give like this. And I want it in medium screen, but I don't want in large screen, means. So in medium device MD, there will be a space, a two column space will be there. But in large screen, there won't be any scripts. Likewise, you can apply based on your requirement. Okay, now you have to practice by applying different values so that your mind will know what are all the possible values, possible things that you can achieve using Bootstrap, and then a requirement will come. There will be a requirement to form one layout and you will make use of the available class names in Bootstrap to achieve your requirement. Okay. uh, what else, anything else we need to learn? That's all about column alignments. And the next one is gutters. As I said, I don't want you to focus on gutters now until you complete one entire Bootstrap page, one entire web page using Bootstrap. Then you can focus on gutter width. Now let me go to our reference website. If you refer the entire website, you can achieve the layout now. So I would suggest you to develop either this page, or if you have already developed this page using your own CSS, then I would suggest you to refer some other templates. Like, go to bootstrapmade.com and go to templates, choose one particular category. There will be a lot of websites available here. You can open any one. Click this link. And try to develop this web page. Okay, mostly each template will be looking same. There will be slight difference only. So take some layout that you prefer and start developing it. Okay, and don't implement your own creativity, which means don't follow any designs of your thought process. Just follow what you see in the page. That will be your benchmark. Your goal will be to develop a pixel perfect web page like this, or whatever the template that you choose. You should not think like, let me add some extra space. It should not be like that. You have to achieve exactly what you see here. That is your requirement, because in real time the client will give you what needs to be developed. You won't have any benefits of adding some extra space. They will tell you what should be the output. Your goal or your task will be to achieve exactly what design has been given. So don't give your own preferred spacing. Always achieve what is shown in the web page. Okay, and all these web pages are developed using Bootstrap, so you can very well get the 100% accuracy. So with that I would say, you can every one of you can select your own preferred template and start building the layout now. Okay, and I expect you to develop at least one web page. I mean the layout of one web page. Layout means what? You will have that section alone and the content will not be available. Instead of content, you will simply write some heading tags or some plain text, but the layout will be available. Likewise, I want you to develop a layout. So you have two tasks for now. One is a responsive web page without using Bootstrap. Around 5 to 6 people have already completed it, and the new task is you will select your own template and start building it using Bootstrap. So using Bootstrap means your CSS will be empty, or you will have CSS to apply some content related styling like colors, font size, those kind of styles only be available here. All layout based styles will be achieved using the class names of Bootstrap. So this will take care of layout for now. And once you learn the next part, that is where is the documentation? Yeah. Once you learn the content and other components, the necessity of writing your own CSS will be very less. That's it. Okay. Okay, carry on. I am eager to see your layout. Thank you.